This is New York City, the wealthiest city in the country. 1.1 million children are in the school system. 61% graduate, and 25% of that 61% graduate college ready. So that's something that should be unacceptable to everybody in this city, that we would have an educational system that is providing such a poor education for the majority of its students. It's an aggregate, of course. There's some kids getting a great education, but they're a small percentage of the largest school system in the country. And so policy has to change and priorities have to change. And I think one of the biggest disservices is when people say they don't know what to do. We all know what good schools look like. We all know what economic access looks like, because all you have to do is go to upper middle class and wealthy communities. So how do we provide that same kind of schooling to all children? How do we ensure that they all get the support systems that they need? Right now, we're allowing that not to happen because it's not a priority. It's not simply where dollars, resources, and political will is being applied. I think we've seen some improvement over the last period of time in terms of education, but it's still wholly insufficient. And we have to do all of this work because of the class and the ethnicity and the background of our young people, because they aren't born into an opportunity the same as young people born in a different zip code. People who have had the benefit and the opportunity to receive an elite education in a quote finishing school, whether it be an MBA program or a JD program, have to see a responsibility to contribute to society. Every issue isn't everybody's issue. You have to decide what are the areas you want to work on, and that may be the environment for one, that may be voter rights for another, that may be immigration for a third, or reforming the criminal justice system for a fourth. But you have to have a focus on something larger than yourself and your career. I think for your own personal development and sustainability, I think it's a pretty hollow experience to not have something that connects you to others. So I think we have to teach sustainable corporate institutions. We have to teach philanthropy that really looks at itself as a partner around these large issues. Will everyone get it? Of course not. But if we're training more and more leaders to see the connection, then I think we're doing, obviously, a far better job than we've done. Certainly in the legal space, when I came into law school, 3/4 of the people who applied said they wanted to do this work, go to law school, to create social change in whatever issue it was. 90% who graduated ended up in corporate firms, right? So something happens in those 3 years, in addition to loans or the financial pressure, right? Something else happens. That's about education. That's about teaching. What is your responsibility? I'm not putting it just on one school, but I do think that as a society, if at this point people don't see how interconnected we are, and to keep going back to this, if you don't see how these issues will come to your doorstep, then you're an ostrich with your head in the sand.